Baby, y'all see what they're doing with that Section 8 program, huh? It's crazy how they doing everything. So if you've been on Section 8 for 20, 30, 40 years, they're telling you that you got to be out of there.
Already starting off bad. So, bro, some people are so entitled. Section 8 food stamps and all that stuff is supposed to be for people that cannot work. Because if the person cannot work, they need food stamps more than, let's say, if I just wanted to finesse the system and I didn't feel like working. I'm fully able to work, but I just didn't feel like working. Now all of a sudden we're in the same category. No, it shouldn't be like that. If you are able to work, then you should be working. Now, I understand a good finesse is cool, right? But if I'm finessing the system, food stamps, whatever the case is, right? I'm finessing the system. I'm not gonna get mad if they then be like, bro, you can work, you've been on food stamps for 10 years, like, and you ain't never like, come on, bro, like lock in. I ain't gonna get mad, I'm gonna just be like, dang. I was finessing, my time caught up, boom. You know what I mean? I was finessing the system, so of course it's gonna catch up to me. I wouldn't be that mad. Come on.
So I'm hearing that they're supposed to be doing away with Section 8. I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, it's about time. We got too many people that's taking advantage of the system. Too many people sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And guess what? We tired of it. 'Cause us working people are paying for you to sit around and do nothing. So while we out working 2 and 3 jobs, busting our chops and missing time away from our family, y'all at home chilling. Y'all up on the new Jordans, all the new clothes, all the new gadgets and gadgets, all the jewelry, all the bling, and all our hard working money is going to food in the house and bills. We can't even spend that money on ourselves. More time at work than it is at home. It's not fair. It's time to get up, y'all. If you ain't disabled, if you have 2 working hands and 2 working feet, you gonna get up and you gonna get to work. It's the harsh reality. I am seeing so many videos about people complaining about losing their Section 8. I'm seeing so many videos. They are blaming Trump because they're going to lose their Section 8 in 2 years. Blame your daddy Biden. Because if Biden hadn't been letting those illegal immigrants over here, giving them all of the resources that were for American citizens, Trump would not have to have come back into the presidency to clean up the mess that he created by giving resources, money, and funds away to people that were not citizens. And sadly, this is affecting you all. And being an ex-recipient of Section 8, I gave that shit back. Because see, one thing I realized about Section 8 is that it will hinder you and it will keep you stagnant and not wanting to do anything with your life. And once I saw that and realized that I struggled more when I was on Section 8 than ever. The only time Section 8 ever helped me out is when I quit my motherfucking job to get my CDL. That's the only time Section 8 ever helped me out. Other than that, the whole time I was on Section 8, I don't know what kind of Section 8 I had, but I was paying the majority of the goddamn rent. And the housing authority wasn't paying shit. So I gave that shit back. So if you are an able-bodied person, find you something to do in the next 2 years. Okay? If you're not a senior citizen and retired and you don't have a disability, then you don't need to be on Section 8. 2 years is enough for you to get yourself on your feet and get it together. But I will say this, something has got to change, because when I was on Section 8, I couldn't save no goddamn money, because every 10 cent, 11 cent, 12 cent raise I got made the portion of rent I had to pay go up. And every time I had to pay rent in, they'll take something else away. And now I was understanding why people would be like, I can't work more than 20 hours this week. I can't work more than 30 hours. It keep you dependent on the system. And you end up not being shit. And once I realized that shit, I said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And this was 2007. And here we are in 2025. Baby, and I ain't looked back since. I have not looked back since. So I advise everybody that's on here talking about, You're going to lose your Section 8 in 2 years. You got 2 years to get yourself together and see what you can do with your life to better your life, because you have been dependent on the system and it has been letting you just not be shit. And I'm sorry to say it like that, because I almost became like that. But because of the type of person I am, I was like, oh, hell no, because I can see where this is going. I can see where this is going. So, I was like, no. Yeah. So the only time Section 8 benefited me is when I quit my goddamn job and I got my CDL. And I have not looked back. And my caseworker was like, baby, you sure? You sure you want to let this go? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I have struggled so much under Section 8. I ain't never struggled like this before. I said, can I gift it to somebody else? Can I give it to somebody else? She was like, no, you can't do that. She said, but I'm going to tell you. She's like, you can't ever apply again if you decline this voucher. I said, ma'am, I don't ever want to apply again. I hope I never have to apply again. This has been the worst experience ever. And I was like, and I didn't understand what the hell was going on, because I knew people that was on Section 8. Section 8 was paying their rent. Section 8 was paying their utility bill. They weren't messing with their food stamps. What the hell? What kind of Section 8 did I have? Damn. Anyway, y'all can't blame that shit on Trump. Y'all blame that shit on Biden. He the one was giving that assistance to people. I applied for Section 8 in 1998, and I didn't get approved till 2007 or 2008. I know it took a long goddamn time for me to get approved for it. And you letting people come over in this country, illegally come over in this country, and you still got your own citizens on the waiting list for Section 8, and you bypass them, and you give them Section 8, and give them hundreds and thousands of dollars in food stamps. And you aren't even trying to take care of the people on Social Security. Let me not get on my elderly parents, okay? My elderly parents that are drawing Social Security, that have put into this society and are now retired, apply for food stamps. You tell them they don't qualify. All they qualify is for $16, y'all. $16 is what they were qualified for. But you can give an illegal immigrant thousands of food stamps and they ain't contributed shit to this country. Shit to this country. You need to be upset with Biden, because had he not did that bullshit, Trump probably wouldn't even be messing with y'all right about now. So take your anger and your attitude and turn it towards Biden, the crippled ass. That's who you talk about when you get on here and complain about some goddamn Section 8. The fuck up.
Listen, before y'all get on here and argue with me, because let's try to get his sister together. I'm not arguing with nobody that has a voucher or nobody that's defrauding the system. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Now, I could keep going if she want to keep going. I could just call a state, too. Okay? Because I think if your mom if somebody got a Section 8 voucher, I think only the people on the voucher are supposed to be staying there. I don't think it's supposed to be a whole bunch of different people. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? But what I'm not going to do is go back and forth with you when I'm going to just call a state on you. I'm just not going to do it. Like, you're not going to come on my phone. You're not going to harass me. You're not going to do any of that. Okay? Especially when I'm funding your stay. You're just not going to do it. When you're committing government fraud. We're just not going to do it. Okay? So it's just important to remember before y'all get online and y'all come at people, or before you text people's phones, or you try to harass them, or let your brother or anybody put a battery in your back, make sure that y'all don't need the state. Make sure that you're following all the guidelines. Okay? All right. Thanks. Have a good.
Oh, she just went in. But she's spitting facts. If y'all saying, oh, my Section 8, if you're mad because your Section 8 is going to be up in 2 years and you can fully work, you got 2 years to get your ish together. I'm not saying that none of us will benefit. Well, I wouldn't not benefit from having Section 8. If I could cut my rent in half or whatever the price is, that's a movie. But it's not really fair for the people who need it. Like she was talking about, if there's older people who are flying for it because they've been doing whatever, and now they're 60 years old, and boom, boom, bang, and they're getting denied because a 20-something-year-old who's perfectly healthy can work, but chose not to and is taking up some spots, that's crazy. Come on. Actually have like a heart. Now, all I'm saying is, if you have 2 years, for some people that's getting their food stamp Section 8 cut off, you got 2 years to grind. Work at Amazon, get active. You got a criminal record, figure something out, man. Come on, lock in.